Alright, fellas, here we're back on our Pokemon Horizons episode here, where we've got ourselves this fun little Stunfisk related episode, which is interesting. This one's interesting. It's not bad for lore wise. We don't really get much, but we do. It's honestly a pretty good episode. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. Not really much else to say about it, but we get ourselves a little opening here in whatever the city is. I don't even remember. It's Levincia, there it is. I don't remember the city names. All right, but it's Levincia, and we get an opening with Iono here, who's actually talking to Dot and thanking her for coming the distance, because we were gonna go. What is the first town? I actually need to look at Cortando right here. Yeah, this is where they want to meet. They want to meet up at Katie's gym. So yeah, so that's where they were actually gonna meet up last episode. But Dot did get a call from Iono to come here to Levincia for some reason. They do have their little greetings there. Of course, the relationship between Dot and Iono is really good in this series. It actually makes Iono an actual character, like something likable. Anyway, I'm a little bit. I'm not much of an Iono fan. Anyway, doesn't matter. So we get Tough and Quaxwell alongside a Bellybolt here. Apparently Iono's got a new setup. Interesting to see. New camera, which Tough was gonna destroy, but whatever. Talking about latest condenser mics and stuff. Got to be choosy whenever you're like a streamer when it comes to mics and lighting. I mean, you can say this is true to like a certain extent. Like the bigger you get, maybe the more it matters because people are gonna judge you more and more. But like, you're just like kind of like I don't know, not like mid-sized, I guess. Like you're like a mid-sized or like smaller streamer or like record like YouTuber or something like that. Don't worry about your equipment. You don't need like Studio Pro level stuff. What you need is to figure out like your niche, how stuff works, like what stuff you want to put out and everything like that. You need to figure all of that out and like get good at that first before you start really worrying about like quality. At least that's my input on it, but it doesn't really matter. He had something important to talk about, and she says that she has been basically watching the Nido Thing videos where she wants like submissions on weird things that are happening in the Pokemon world, like mostly in regards to like Lockwium signs and stuff, and also obviously legendary Pokemon and whatever. But Iono actually does have some information detailing that here, which is curious, and so she says that she's seen something. She sends I guess it's an email, but more of like in the form of like a Dropbox type of notification, I guess, which then fades into the title card alongside the title, which the prankster Magio's nice smile. Magio's what Stunfisk is called in Japanese. So it's a Stunfisk related episode, which is fun. There's this footage is from Levincia's stationary cameras, looking through them the other day to get some ideas for video topics, which makes sense. I mean, just find your surroundings to make good video ideas. It works. And says this too, that there was these electrical shocks. I believe this Azumarill was hit, but I didn't frame it right. But there's these electrical shocks that are hitting these random Pokemon on the streets. And while she zooms in and slows down the video to show that it is actually a Stunfisk flying through the fucking air and smacking the Steenie, which is hilarious. And that guy's homie's facial expression, that it looks straight out of like one of those typical 1970s like children's books. Like, oh my gosh, that's funny. And we get the Pokedex entry for Stunfisk there, and it says that they are Stunfisk traps because Stunfisk is just going around smacking up random Pokemon extremely quick. And then you can see, well, why is that Stunfisk so fast? Dot notices the signs of Lockwium around the Pokemon that were hit by it. So the Stunfisk is being juiced up by like the Lockwium traces. And she says to herself that's a Lockwium sign. Iono notices her like her astute, I guess it's astute, yeah, her like astute acknowledgement of the Lockwium there, and that's why she called her here, because she knows that is exactly the stuff that Dot is looking for, and that she will probably be the one to have to handle it. So that is probably why the other two have not really been called here. It's obviously Iono is the only one that has like a real relationship with, or Dot's the only one that has a real relationship with Iono. I guess Liko does too, to an extent, because she was in like one of Iono's streams, but mostly obviously Dot. It's a lot more important. So this is gonna be a Dot focused episode for the most part, which is good because we have not gotten anything focusing on Dot, because she's been mostly just like playing the side role, which it's really good to see another Dot episode. It really is. And she says she's glad she swung by before heading over to Cortando, but there shouldn't be any wild Stunfisk, which there isn't. They don't. Is Stunfisk even in Scarlet and Violet? Well, I actually need to look that up. I actually don't remember. Bruh. not at all. Literally cannot find Stunfisk and Scarlet and Violet. That's insane that there's a focus here. Yeah, you definitely can't find it. Means a trainer should be around somewhere, but where? And that is, Iono puts out her little Iono face. Then your curiosity's piqued. So Dot asks Iono where she thinks the Stunfisk might show up next, and well, she does actually have a pretty good idea of it. She knows Levincia like it's her own backyard, because I mean she's the most popular person in the entire city. Makes sense, it really does. And she says, let's go check it out, and well and good, but she's not going to help her out. She's going to chill out and do a live stream instead of actually helping out Dot. So she basically just gave Dot the information and was like, all right, later, have fun. Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Just since she's so popular, there's going to be oodles of people out there waiting for me best to give it your shot playing solo. Yeah, so, well, that's fun. And then we do see the Iono live stream here with What You Got TV. The Dot acknowledges that she's just as popular as she's ever been, and well, that's it, again, Dot focused. It would be cool to see a Dot and Iono team up for something like this, but it's just going to be a Dot focus for now, which it ends up being like good in general, so it is fine. Says that the Stunfisk shows up at night with roads with a lot of foot traffic. That'll be probably somewhere like on the main streets of Levincia. Makes the most sense. And then we get an ad for Exceed here saying that, yeah, Exceed is developing a bunch of good stuff, and they are developing the strong spheres, of course, that use Locklium in them, and it's probably what is actually boosting the Stunfisk here. She does make the connection there that it's probably someone that is actually utilizing a strong sphere in order to actually boost up their Stunfisk, considering it's a trainer's Pokemon and it's not wild. And we do see this Curlia. It does get hit by those same sparks. Then there's the Croagunk there with the Locklium stuff around it. And then there is the mud. Stunfisk does hide itself in mud. We do know this from like its Pokedex wars and stuff like that, so it does make sense that it's actually doing this. It says it's hiding itself in the mud as it goes along. And then Tinkatuff goes to hit it. That's so funny. And then Quaxwell stops it, and we get this goofy ass Donald Duck looking. It's like a Donald Duck type of expression. Oh my gosh. You see Quaxwell just get absolutely fried up, and then this Rotom phone here that ends up just running away. Yeah, a Rotom phone comes out of nowhere, snaps a picture of Quaxwell, and just dips. And so Dot does make the assumption that would be the trainer. Also, she's got the cat face. Very funny to see there. And the Stunfisk does also run away. So, disguising itself in mud, smacking up random trainers' Pokemon at extremely high speeds, and leaving off Locklium traces. Obviously not a good thing, right? Makes sense. So they do fall into a back alley, and there is this fucking funny ass image here of this just back shot of a massive Stunfisk running away, which is insane, bro. This person is insane. It's really funny. But good that way is a dead end. You've got nowhere left to run, and you're the one that's been stirring up trouble with Stunfisk. And we get this person. And they're very fun gimmicks. We get a lot of funny gimmicks in this series with a lot of trainers. Pokemon is very good about doing that. And while this person's definitely no differences, that's right. My Stunfisk was behind it all. Thanks to you, I've got to snap a sublime surprised face. The very incarnation of Stunfisk, I'm Magyaro. I don't know what the English translations of that's going to be, but hey, sure. We got this Stunfisk trainer here in a Stunfisk costume, which, by the way, how do you even fit in that? I want to know. Very interesting to see. And they'll be the trainer of the Stunfisk that has been terrorizing people basically by making it jump and electrocute things around it, which is insane. It's definitely not something you would want to do conventionally, I would say, but whatever. And we get ourselves the two cards here for the midpoint of the video with Dot and her team, and then Iono and her Bellibolt. Not bad poses, good to see. Anyway, we do fade back to Iono on her show here. Today's What You Got TV. We got a special sale at the Got It All supermarket. Go grab flyers and rush on over. And who was that? It was Iono, whatever. I feel like this is a big sponsorship. Iono's probably getting paid mad cash to do this, but sure. I mean, she's advertising her supermarket, I guess, whatever. So she finishes her live stream and stuff, and then actually checks up on how Dot's doing handling the Stunfisk stuff, and does show that she's busy. And from the security camera, she can actually see Dot about to face down the Stunfisk trainer here, and she can actually view everything just from those cameras. Which the fact that she has like security camera access is a little odd, but well, I mean, it is what it is, I suppose. Anyway, so again, we got the Stunfisk trainer here. It says, what do you mean by surprise face? And shows the funny-ass image here of Quaxwell getting destroyed by Stunfisk, and you can see the exact snap of the frame where Stunfisk actually smiled for the camera as well. Very fast Stunfisk, clearly. Outstanding surprise face, another one to add to the collection. And apparently she is collecting surprise faces from people who fall into Stunfisk's trap, which you don't even fall into Stunfisk's trap. You literally just attack people. So there's some things to kind of learn about there. You know, they kind of need to change their ways a little bit. She's the one that says once she edits them together and posts them, she's bound to go viral, saying that she's a streamer. And then we get another one of these little Team Rocket-esque bits where she says, basically, show your support to the Magyaro channel, whatever her name is going to end up being in English, or is. It's actually a guy. But yeah, so interesting. I really, really like and love Stunfisk's smile. I want to let Stunfisk do anything at once, which is not good considering your Stunfisk is, again, attacking random people in Pokemon. So you gotta be a little bit careful on that one. Just something to consider. Anyway, you can tell right away you're a Stunfisk fan, but when you leave traps lying around an absurdly fast Stunfisk, you've gone way beyond the level of a prank. Yeah, like if this Stunfisk was just kind of like chilling around, like kind of sporting mud around or something like that, like maybe it could be funny or considered a prank, you know, probably one in bad taste, but still one nonetheless. But no, you were literally just blitzing around, smacking people in Pokemon, and leaving behind like static paralysis and stuff like that. It's not good. Obviously, you really shouldn't be doing that. Also, what move is it even using? Like Spark, Wild Charge? Because that is a fast Stunfisk. It says here's the secret behind it is a strong sphere. So yeah, of course, the guy's been using a strong sphere to boost his Stunfisk. Not the best way to do it, but of course it is very effective. I mean, we will see this very soon, considering they are gonna fight. Spoiler alert! And also Stunfisk's funny face here. I love this. It's actually so funny. Stunfisk has such great facial expressions. There we go, a strong sphere. The strong sphere is a brand new product from Exceed. I applied to be a product tester and got in ahead of the crowd. For now, we can only lay down close range traps, so with this, we can collect surprise faces from all over the city, go viral, and get Iono's attention. And we actually get a cut back to Iono's frame here, saying that he already grabbed her attention. It's actually very funny. But the big thing with this is that they have product testers for the strong spheres, which is very, very... And this is like, how many more people have these? Because again, it seems like they have not gotten out to the public yet. They've only been like the testings, like the live environments that we saw with Liko and Roy versus Coral. And, damn it, what's his name? Sidian, there we go. Coral and Sidian, alongside whoever the girl's name was, whenever she fought with her and Pheasant. Like, you saw all these people using the strong spheres in that live environment that was controlled by Exceed. But then, again, there's this product tester here, so there's probably other product testers that actually already have strong spheres and can make use of them however they want to, which, not good, as we will see. So yeah, I already caught Iono's attention. Aren't you that kid that Iono battled during the Terrestrial course? I can knock out 2 Popo with 1 stone. What is that? Lateral? I have no idea. Okay, the conventional one, Pidgey. 2 Pidgeys with 1 stone. Fair enough, got it. And add your surprise face to my collection. And if I can beat you in a battle, I'm bound to get Iono's attention. So yeah, this fan's a real pain. So Dot just acknowledges that this is a lot to take in, and well, this person is very crazy about Stunfisk, and to the point where they are going to basically go around and harm people, basically just in order to get attention and apparently make their Stunfisk happy, which... Let's just keep saying it. I mean, say it as much as we have to. It's not a good thing. We don't want to be doing that. Definitely not the right way to go about it. So, and then we're going to actually go ahead and get into the fight with Stunfisk versus Quaxwell. So, Stunfisk uses Mud Spray. I don't remember what the move is. It's probably not Mud Sport. Mud Shot. I'm going to guess it's Mud Shot. That's my only real assumption on what this could be. Dot tells Quaxwell to get away from the mud, and if you go in without thinking, you'll step on Stunfisk in the mud and get zapped with electricity. Yeah, pretty smart, because you can see it just kind of swimming around there in the mud, and well, it's like a fish circling, like a piranha circling, so it's not going to be a good thing to go for. So Quaxwell goes for Aqua Cutter on the Stunfisk there, lands a direct hit on it, goes for Electro Web and gets dodged, and then goes for another Aqua Cutter and lands another hit on Stunfisk there and leaves it down. That's such a funny face. I love this so much. It's so goofy. So asks, are you alright? Must have hurt Stunfisk, and basically tries to act the victim, even though they started the fight, on why they should not have hurt Stunfisk. Again, you know, hypocrisy, but hey, it is what it is. Look what you did to my Stunfisk. He says, no, it was a battle. And, well, they say that they're not going to go easy on Now it's about time they bust out the strong sphere. So there it is, the strong sphere, with Stunfisk actually having the straight up red eyes. Not great. I got a very funny frame of this, but there we go. Quaxwell will go for another Aqua Cutter on Stunfisk. Does not really do anything because I'm pretty sure Stunfisk jumped, went right above, and goes for, I believe, another Electroweb. Yes, so Dot does acknowledge this is what a strong sphere is capable of making Pokemon do. It enhances their ability so much. Like, again, you saw the speed that Stunfisk had. Well, this is basically that intensified even more, of course, right? And we see the Electroweb here go for and hit the Aqua Cutter, completely go through it, and then just zap through Quaxwell. And then it goes right below Quaxwell's foot as it is trying to regain its footing, and is able to shock Quaxwell again with its electricity, and that knocks Quaxwell completely out of the fight. Electric weakness. You gotta love that, right? So now it's time for Tinkatuff versus Stunfisk. We do see that Magyaro, I think that's how you say his name, still wants to try and get Dot's surprise face, which apparently not going to happen, but I think Dot's been plenty surprised in this fight already. So Tinkatuff tries to go in for Slam. This is Slam. Tries to go in for the Slam on Stunfisk, misses. It keeps trying to hit it, but cannot hit it at all. It says you'll never hit it with wide swings like that. And it goes for another Electroweb, hits Tinkatuff, it steps back again like Quaxwell did, and gets shocked again by Stunfisk in a similar case. But thankfully, because it's not weak to electric and wasn't worn down in the fight prior, it doesn't have to worry too much about fainting yet, but it is taking significant damage, of course. And you can see Stunfisk's angry face, and we can kind of see Magyaro's look of, like, curiosity mostly at this point, but it's going to turn a little bit more into desperation with Stunfisk later, where it's like he doesn't know why Stunfisk is acting like this, why Stunfisk seems to be angry or aggressive, not knowing that is the effects that Lockbeam has on Pokemon. Dot does know that it's really stronger, but that they have to they still have a chance, and to put the trust in him, or trust in her, in order to actually win the fight. So yeah, fair. Stunfisk, be careful out there. We got Tinkatuff going for Slam again. Similar case happens where Stunfisk tries to go for the Electroweb up in the air, and then Dot commands Tinkatuff to go for Brutal Swing in order to actually reflect or bounce back the Electroweb so it can't stick, breaks the electricity, and actually ends up going and lands Metal Claw instead. So, wow, that is a crazy frame. Okay, but Tinkatuff does learn a Metal Claw in the midst of spinning with Brutal Swing here. Goes for Metal Claw, spins like a Beyblade, smacks up Stunfisk here, and actually turns the tide of battle into her favor. So Dot then goes for the Terrassalization on Tinkatuff, revealing Tinkatuff's Terra type to be Steel, and goes for Metal Claw again, and keeps just hammering these hits on Stunfisk. He keeps trying to go for, I'm guessing, like Thunderbolt or some electric attack, but Tinkatuff keeps using Metal Claw, and even though Stunfisk keeps going for these electric attacks, the effects of the Lockbeam are definitely apparent here with how much Stunfisk is trying to really land these attacks, and just keeps doing it just out of sheer desperation and just sheer like anger, agitation and stuff like that. Tinkatuff still just is able to completely negate them, but you can see the Lockbeam is really having its effects on Stunfisk here, boosting its power, but obviously eroding away at like probably its energy and its overall like I guess sanity is the best way to put it. I mean, you know, it's definitely not good for the mental state for sure. But Tinkatuff still is able to hold out and keep slamming away the electric attacks with its Metal Claw. So this is where Magyaro kind of really like starts to understand, like, this is not good. The effects of these strong spheres are not very, very good. I mean, they obviously apply a lot of power, but they're obviously going to be hurting Stunfisk a lot. So you got to be careful with stuff. And it obviously is realizing that this is actually hurting Stunfisk more than it's doing anything good. So it tries to command Stunfisk to stop, but it keeps going. And, well, he now notices that Stunfisk will not listen to him. But Tinkatuff, thankfully, is able to actually probably win the fight here. You can still see there the effects of the Lockbeam still on Stunfisk there. But Dot commands Tinkatuff to go for another Metal Claw, lands the hit on Stunfisk there, and knocks it back out of its state and KOs it. Oh, I love the swirly eyes on Stunfisk. That's so funny. Anyway. Dot says that they did it, and we can see that Magyaro here is just trying to like cater and hold its Stunfisk a little bit just to try and wake it up. It does wake up, and well, it's back to normal, thankfully. And then Iono does call Dot in the same case and says it's a real sight to see. And I was coiled up watching the stationary camera. You did perfect battling it up with Sir Magyaro. Nothing less from a trainer with my approval. And as for you, Magyaro, which now he knows that Iono is actually watching them, or was watching their fight the entire time. So, well, he did actually get her attention, as she had mentioned earlier. It says, you had good work out there, you nearly had it, but after I used this earlier, STUNFISK just wasn't the same as STUNFISK I know and love. So it's more trainers are actually understanding the effects of these strong spheres the more that they use them. So we are getting like a slowly but surely like a look that obviously we've known that these strong spheres are not good because of the effects that Lockwium has in Pokemon naturally. Again, we know it's not a good thing for them. And, well, thankfully, more trainers are actually realizing that the more that they use these, because you can see, like, the level of energy that the Pokemon have afterwards, the frenzy and craze that the Pokemon have during the battle, none of it is healthy at all. So we're seeing that a lot, especially when you can see the self-damage that, like, Glalie and Garganacl did to themselves when Liko and Dot were fighting Sidian and Coral, right? It says, what he really has to see is STUNFISK's angelic smile. Maybe we were on the same length like you all were. Sorry, STUNFISK, I pushed you too far. Again, realizing that, you know, what he really wants is not for STUNFISK to be, like, super duper strong and, like, doing all this crazy stuff to, like, attack people. It wants STUNFISK to be happy, but also, you know, doesn't want it to have it doesn't want that happiness to be attained by, like, this strength that, you know, ends up hurting STUNFISK more than anything, right? It says they'll stop uploading videos, but I don't know, just kind of says, like, you sure about that? Streamers gotta have to stay true to their beliefs, and I got a great idea for you. I bet you try and snap my surprise face. So now we're gonna have probably a little gag, I would say, more so. I don't think we'll see much of a continuation of this, because I don't see this character ever really returning. Not that much, anyway. Where now Miyaguro will probably try and get Iono's captured surprise face, which I would kind of pay good money to see that, because I don't ever see Iono be surprised, at least not genuinely. And if she is surprised, it's not really that much of a surprise to her, I feel, honestly. She seems like one of the people that really just cannot be surprised by a lot, which is funny. So, hey, good luck. You'll need it. That'll go viral for sure. Yeah, because it probably won't happen. He questions her, asking if that's okay. Says, but you'll have to find my mysterious, oh so elusive self first. So he kind of basically takes her up on that challenge and says that is a nice smile that her STUNFISK is currently giving, and also obviously no cheating around, no cheating allowed. So yeah, get rid of the strong sphere, which he does basically by crushing it. As that is, I think, the second strong sphere that we have seen be crushed, first by Ult and now of course by Magyuro here. So good to see. Says, okay, I don't know, I'm gonna lay the greatest trap ever for you. And she says, just give it your best shot. And Dot just notes that Iono is always so open-minded when dealing with people, so it is good to see. And then we got this sign of the boat here, which is actually Liko, Roy, and Dot all chatting here. Not in person, just Rico and Roy. I should just combine their names, Rico or Loy. I don't know where I'm going to add Ult to that, but whatever. Doesn't matter. They'll all stop putting the spread to them, and the STUNFISK using the strong sphere was obviously acting weird. If they don't do something soon, well, we're going to have more people with strong spheres. That is the insinuation there. More people with strong spheres, more Lockwium to deal with, and overall, just not a good time for anyone involved, really. Says, let's talk more in Cortando. We're almost there. And Dot is still in Levincia, so pretty far distance. I mean, if you've seen the game map, you'll see that Levincia is like all the way to the far east side of Paldea, where Cortando is like southwest, pretty far southwest too, so you got to be pretty far off. Says, what's the quickest route to Cortando? Iono comes down in the Squawkabilly taxi. Or Squawkabilly taxi. And says, whenever you're in need, you can count on Iono, which is funny. I wonder how much this guy got paid to basically chauffeur around Iona to here. I wonder. Streamer money. Anyway, so take this taxi and you'll be there in a flash. So that was actually really fast. I don't know how Squawkabilly is so fast to be able to, and also so fucking strong for 6 of them to be able to carry a whole taxi with 2 people in it. That's a little insane to me, but whatever. It's fine, I guess. But they made it to Cortando, so there they are. That was the end of that episode. We'll go into the like end of episode stuff here in a bit, and then like the mega stuff and whatever, but this episode was mostly here just to highlight that, you know, obviously stay true to your beliefs of how you want yourself to be, like in terms of streaming, you know, their whole goal was basically to like capture surprise faces and people's shocked expressions and stuff. Is like, stick to that, but don't do it in a method that is like hurting your partner or just like hurting other people. So like the traps that Stunfisk laid, not really that good, of course. And you know, the fact that Stunfisk was being hurt by its own strength with the Lockwium boost, basically, that was also not a good way to go about it. So do what is, you know, do what you want, like do like really do that stuff, but obviously you don't want to harm yourself or your partners in any case in that same method. You got to be very careful about doing that stuff. So I think that was the overall message here. And of course, we did get ourselves the close-up look for Dot, Liko, and Roy actually kind of all reuniting. And of course, Ult will be there too, who was actually seasick, which is, you know, more information. Cool. And apparently he gets seasick. And then we, of course, got the Nido Thing Mega Evolution episode here, or episode piece, whatever, which is Altaria. And Mega Altaria is awesome. I love Mega Altaria. It's so good. I can't wait to actually use one of these. I used one of these in Pokemon Unbound. I got a shiny Altaria and did use it. It was super fun. I like Mega Altaria a lot. It says it has a friendly nature and never shies away from company. Listening to this beautiful humming can send anyone into a trance. And, well, everyone is basically now fallen asleep inside of Altaria's fur, which is so adorable. It is so adorable. I love it. Okay, that is crazy. That is a crazy frame. But the next episode is actually like looking to be really, really good. I'm not really going to be reading too much into the captions here, but we do, of course, have Murdoch and tossing around Dot, which is very, very funny and adorable at the same time. Of course, you know, he's her uncle, so it makes sense. And we do have Ult here as well with Katie. And everyone has basically shows that Murdoch has been around and just kind of like learning to cook with Katie. And we can see Lycanroc in the background of this frame here, actually, but you can see here we do actually have a Lycanroc. Who is this Lycanroc? The game, okay, not games, but the show always likes to insinuate, how do I word this? I know that the show always likes to do this like a little fake out thing where it makes you think, oh, is this Murdoch's Rockruff? Which I personally am the belief that it is, but I would not be surprised at all if this is just a different Lycanroc and we see Murdoch's Rockruff somewhere else in this, like in the episode, just not in this preview. But it is looking like, off of just like a glance, that Murdoch's Rockruff has evolved into Lycanroc, which is adorable. Very, very adorable. So it's good to see here. And we can see Meowscarada, Liko, and Quaxwell all around it. And we can see Dot and Ult here with Katie, Murdoch, and Roy. We can also see Sableye here. Very funny. And Captain Pikachu, of course. So yeah, there is the Lycanroc. And it says, whoops, it's nearly time to take out the honey. I don't know how you say it. Souffle? I'm going to say I'm probably right about that. Maybe. But then we also have this Ursaring here, which actually is fighting Terapagos. Is this the same Teddiursa that Liko fought against? I don't know. It could be. It definitely could be. But it seems to be it's going to be Teddiursa versus Stellar Terapagos. Not Stellar Terapagos, Terastallized Terapagos. So that's a very interesting fight, and we can see where this is going. It says Cortando, place of reunions. Please watch it, won't you? And you can see Murdoch's surprised face here. And that is the next episode's title, Cortando, place of reunion. So this next episode is going to be probably pretty vital for the main lore we've been going for, with like the Rising Volt Tacklers getting back together, what they've all been doing, how things have been, and also, of course, you know, judging Liko's strength here with being able to use Terastallized Terapagos here against the Terastallized Ursaring that was probably the same as the Teddiursa that she had actually fought in order to do her Terastal course, right? So we'll have to see how that goes. I'm very, very curious on this. I'm very, very psyched to see how that episode ends up going. So yeah, overall a good episode, but in my opinion, the episode was good. I did like it. It was a good, fun, you know, first time watch. But I'm a big fan of what's going to happen next episode. I'm very excited with Murdoch's Rockruff potentially evolving, as well as seeing like the strength of how like everyone is together now. That's one of the big. I like seeing that all four of them are all together, and then Murdoch's also here, and we can see like kind of how he's reacting to them wanting to bring back the Rising Volt Tacklers. I want to see all that. So, you know, let's bring some hype for the next episode that will be coming at the end of, well, next week, I guess. I want to say this week, but it's only Sunday, so whatever. Next week, next 5 days. But yeah, let me know what you all think about this episode down in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it, and what your like critiques are on it and stuff like that. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you later. I hope you all enjoyed. Peace.